Good morning, children. Let us continue with the story. Yesterday we did first part, and now again they have given three questions, and the answers of these three questions we have to get from the part which we are going to read today. See, I know that Bill's helpfulness to the young fellow from the city. This young fellow from the city is the narrator. Was not entirely a matter of brotherly love. I was paying him for his time. In the end, I paid him for 6 hours, including the lunch hour, at what was then a very high price. But he was no more dishonest than I. I charged the whole thing to the firm, but it would have been worth paying him myself to have his presence. His cheerful country wisdom was very refreshing to a country boy like myself who was sick of the city. As we sat on the hilltop, looking over the pastures and creek which slipped among the trees, he talked of New Mullion and painted a picture in words of all the people in it. Here, the narrator's honesty is coming out. Honesty in one way, not the other way. Otherwise, he admits that he is not very honest. He will charge everything from the company. But he says that even if I have to give money from my own pocket to Bill, I would have given because I was enjoying with him. He told me about the nature of these people. He noticed everything, but no matter how much he might laugh at people, he also understood and forgave their foolishness. He described the minister's wife who sang the loudest in the church when she was most in debt. So he is telling about different people living in the village. He commented on the boys who came back from college in fancy clothes. He told about the lawyer whose wife could never succeed in getting him to put on both a collar and a tie on the same day. He made them all live. On that day, I came to know New Mullion better than I did the city and to love it better. So, this paragraph can give you the answer of 2-3 questions. Number one, it has told you one more thing about the character of Bill, that he has good narrative skills also. And moreover, if we ask you what all did Bill tell the narrator, you will get the answer from here. Bill did not know about colleges and cities, but he had traveled around a lot of the country and had had a lot of jobs. From his adventures, he had brought back a philosophy of simplicity and laughter. He strengthened me. He also told that he has done jobs in different places. We left that peaceful scene of meadows and woods and resumed our search of Oliver Lutkins. We could not find him. At last, Bill cornered a friend of Lutkins and made him admit what he guessed. Oliver has gone out to his mother's farm 3 miles north. We drove there laying plans. So he's taking him around the country, and now he's taking him to Lutkins' mother because somebody told him that Lutkins has gone to his mother. I know Oliver's mother. She's a terror, Bill sighed. I took a truck out there for her once and she almost took my skin off because I did not treat it like a box of eggs. She is about 9 feet tall and 4 feet thick and quick as a cat, and she sure can talk. I will bet Oliver heard that somebody is chasing him and he has gone on there to hide behind his mother's skirts. Well, we will try her, but you had better let me do it, boy. You may be great at literature and law, but you have not had real training in swearing. So he is making him mentally prepared for facing a terrible lady who is Lutkin's mother. We drove into a poor farmyard. We were faced by an enormous and cheerful old woman. So from here you keep on gathering some words about the character sketch of mother. My guide bravely went up to her and said, my guide here refers to Lutkins, and said, remember me, I am Bill Magnusson, the carter and hackman, I want to find your son Oliver. I don't know about anything about Oliver and I don't want to, she shouted. Now look here, we have had just about enough nonsense. This young man represents the court in the city and we have a legal right to search all properties for this Oliver Lutkins. Then he introduces the narrator to Oliver's mother. He says he has come from court in the city and he has brought the license to search his property. Bill made me sound very important and the woman was impressed. She retired into the kitchen and we followed. She seized an iron from the old-fashioned stove and marched on us shouting, "You search all you want to, if you don't mind getting burnt first." She shouted and laughed at her frightened retreat. Means she brought something to burn them. "Let us get out of here, she will murder us," Bill whispered. Outside he said, "Did you see her smile? She was laughing at us." I agreed that it was pretty disrespectful treatment. We did, however, search the house. Since it was only 1 story high, Bill went around it, peering in at all the windows. We examined the barn and stable. We were reasonably certain that Lutkins was not there. It was nearly time for me to catch the afternoon train, and Bill drove me to the station. Now, when all their efforts to search Oliver Lutkins have been exhausted, he is going back to his city. On the way to the city, I wondered very little over my failure to find Lutkins. I was too busy thinking about Bill Magnusson. Really, I considered returning to New Mullion to practice law. If I had found Bill so deep and richly human, might I not grow to love Fridge and Gustav and 100 other slow-spoken, simple, wise neighbors? So he is impressed by this country, by this village, New Mullion, and he wanted to settle down here as a lawyer. I pictured an honest and happy life beyond the strict limits of universities and law firms. I was excited. I had found a treasure. I had discovered a new way of life. But if I did not think much about Lutkins, the office did. Means he is not worried about his failure to search Lutkins, but the firm cannot let it go like this. After all, they have spent money on his tour to this place. I found them all upset. Next morning, the case was coming up in the court and they had to have Lutkins. I was a shameful, useless fool. That morning, my promising legal career almost came to an end before it had begun. The chief almost murdered me. He hinted that I might do well at digging ditches. I was ordered back to New Mullion, and with me went a man who had worked with Lutkins. So tomorrow again he will go to New Mullion, but this time not alone. Somebody will go with him, somebody who recognizes Lutkins. I was rather sorry because it would prevent my loafing all over again with Bill. When the train arrived at New Mullion, Bill was on the station platform near his cart. Strangely enough, that old tigress, this is Lutkins' mother was there. Lutkins' mother was there talking and laughing with Bill, not calling at all. Actually, yesterday she was doing drama. Both of them were doing drama in front of him. From the train steps, I pointed Bill out to my companion and said, "There is a fine fellow, a real man. I spent the day with him." See, this is a very strange situation. He tells his friend, he tells that man who has come with him that he is the man, that he is Bill, and yesterday he spent a very nice day with him. See what happened. He helped you hunt for Oliver Lutkins. This is what his friend asked. Yes, he helped me a lot. He must have. He is Lutkins himself. So now you can understand what is the condition of this fellow. What really hurt me was that when I served the summons, Lutkins and his mother laughed at me as though I were a bright boy of 7. With loving kindness, they begged me to go with them to a neighbor's house for a cup of coffee. I told them about you and they are anxious to look at you, said Lutkins. They are about the only fox in the town that missed seeing you yesterday. See, yesterday he was taking him around the village and everybody was making fun of him, and he is inviting him to his neighbor because they did not see him. So it's very funny. Tomorrow we will discuss the question answers.